Well guys, what I've been up to this week. Well, as you can probably hear when we get into the video, I've been full of cold, so we haven't cracked on as much as I'd like to. But here's where I got up to anyway. Hi folks, and welcome back to part 7, messing with the decals. As you can see, this is the one that's on the bike at the minute. But when I bought the bike, these come with it as well, and I'm reluctant to use them. So what I've got the wife to do is copy them. And then we've always got the original set that come with the bike if ever we want to do a full resto on it, which I'm reluctant to do because I like a bike with a bit of patina. If you go that far with them, they end up just sitting there not being used. So what I'm going to try and do is get this decal off and put the copy one on and save that one. So let me crack on and let's see if we can get this off and see what it looks like once I've put it on. So these decals are actually metal. I'm having to peel it off with these. Yeah, they're not like normal decals, these are actually like aluminium. So we'll carry on and keep peeling it off, and then we'll have to get all this glue off and then put the decal on. But yeah, really surprised the quality of them. Yeah, spot on. Well guys, that's what we had on there. And now I've just laid this in and we have that. And I think that looks loads better. I don't always make more of these ones if they get damaged and still have that one. So I can always get her to run some more of these off for me. But yeah, looks loads better. Well, I think that turned out pretty well. From what we started with, what we copied, to on there. I think that's a great improvement. So we'll have a go at the next one. We'll have a go at this stickers for the side of the bike. See if we can replicate them and keep the ones that come with the bike. There we go. Another one done. One more to do. And then I'm going to put them on the bike. Hopefully. I suppose it's come to that time where we'll get these decals off. I'll get the hot air gun, warm them up and peel them off. Give me a chance to clean this bit up. We'll get that chrome strip off and get on with it and see if it brightens the bike up that little bit more. As you can see, they're well worn out. Right, I'm going to crack on with it. Well, I cracked on with it. Peeled all the old decals off with the hot air gun, and now, there we go. Put the decals on. Look pretty good to me. A lot better than what we had. And the other side, matching up nicely. All put back together. Now I've got another job, and it means taking the exhaust off again, footrests, kickstart. I need to take this case off here because I've got a whirring sound. Now I reckon the bearing behind there has like dried out over the years, or the moisture's got in there, so it's giving me a bit of a noise. And I did find in the garage another bearing, so I think that's a job to get done. So I think I'm going to start cracking on, get this case off, the exhaust off. Might give me a chance to touch this up as well. Some is that's a bit tatty as well, but I suppose we'll see how we get on today. Well, took the exhaust off, loosened the engine guard, dropped the foot pegs off, loosened the brake, and then cracked off all the bolts around it. Some of them was a real pain. I don't know if it'll focus on that one. But the impact, my £2 impact screwdriver, done the job. There was another one that was rounding off as well. But I've got them all now, so it's a matter of just pulling this casing off and having a look inside and see if we can get to the bearing. Well, that's the casing off. The bearing I want to get to is behind here. Anyway, I'm glad I took it off. Look at the sludge in this. Look at that. That's awful. That's horrible. Anyway, look at it. What the hell's that? Anyway, we've got it off. Next thing, we'll have this off, change the bearing, and then we can start cleaning all up. There is an oil screen just down there. We'll have that out, clean it. We'll see if we can get these out. We can get these ones out because it can be a real pain. We can clean inside there. I'll show you if we do it. So there's the bearing I've just pulled, and it's grindy. You can feel it. It's not good. And there's the new one, and all it does is sit in there. So I'll just tap in once I've cleaned everything out. But yeah, there's the oil strainer. You can see there's some shit in that. Look at that. That wasn't laying much oil around it. So I'm glad you can see how shit up it is. That must be water from in the bottom of the engine when it's been sitting all the years. So I'm really glad we've sorted that out. So I'll get everything cleaned up and see what she sounds like when we get her back together. But it's got to be better than what it was. Christ, the oil will be able to get around it now. Anyway, let me crack on. Right, I thought I'd just show you in the light how bad that filter is that's in the bottom of the engine. You can actually see how bad that is. So that wasn't laying a lot of oil around the engine. Right, so let's get it cleaned up. I'll show you once I've done it. Well, the oil filter's clean now. I don't think you realise how bad that was. I'm so glad I took the time to change that bearing, because that is what's inside the casing. I mean, this stuff, you can see it. It is oil, but I think it's oil mixed with water and congealed up. So, need a new gasket and get all this looking fresh. Right, I'll crack on with a bit of clutch and brake cleaner and get it washed out. Well, I think that's a marked improvement to what we had. What I'm going to do next is put the gasket on. What I'll do, I'll put it on with some grease. Bit of grease, put it on there first, and then we've got to get this lot back together. I'll tell you a good YouTuber who's just done this, Free Ranger. If you look him up, he does it in better than what I do. He explains it a lot better. I'm just getting it back together, so it's worth watching him. Right, I'll get this gasket on. We'll start getting it back together. Well, casing's back on. Behind here you have like a triangle bit with 3 ball bearings in and a spring that goes behind it. What I actually done was put some blobs of grease on the little ball bearing things, leant the bike over, put it on, held it in place, and then you can get your casing back on. Otherwise it can be a real pain getting it back on. So like I say, bit of grease, little blobs, held everything in place. Right, let's start putting it back together then. Well, that's it, back together. I don't think it can tick over any much slower than what it is. Yeah, sounding better now. Oh, I thought she was going to die. There she is, she's died off. Yeah, happy with that job. Still didn't get round to doing that. Maybe a bit later on today. Well, I managed to find time and got the heat shield done. Looks loads better than what it did before. We also tidied up the seat pan. Don't know if you can see properly with that light. But anyway, tidied that up, re-glued all this back on. I can't see the point at the minute of swapping the seat cover. I like to keep it with some patina on it. So that's sort of this week's progress. Like I said at the beginning, it's been rough. Still, you can probably hear, still got the cold. But we're getting there. It's moved on to another level. Still got a few bits left from what come with it. When I get round to putting them on, I'll let you all know. But yep, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and sharing. I'm down, I'm gone.